Hello students, welcome to the class of Eden Guru. I am Professor Sunil Kumar Vishwakarma, your biology faculty for the day. Students, in the last module, we talked about basics of biology, we talked about taxonomy, we talked about the vernacular method of naming the plants and animals. Now in this module, we are going a little bit ahead with respect to nomenclature. The second method that was used by the scientists to do nomenclature was scientific name, or you can say polynomial nomenclature. Now scientific name or the polynomial nomenclature is universally accepted. There is no problem in accepting the scientific name, but the only big problem was that the name itself is very big. For example, if I use the word Sida acuta, now Sida acuta is a small name, but when I go for scientific name, what is scientific name? It is Chrysophyllum, Follis, Ovalis, Supreme, Glabrous, Parallel, Striatus, Subtus, Tomento, Sonitidis. Big name. Is it possible for you or for me to remember such a huge name? And by the time we ask for this name, the person might go away. What he's talking about, I don't understand. This is the reason why scientific name is not preferred much. So which name is preferred? It is binomial nomenclature. Bi means two, nomial means name, and nomenclature means art of naming. So what we are going to do, we are going to give only two names to all the living organisms available on this earth. For example, now when you talk about binomial nomenclature, it's the binomial system. Who came up with this binomial system? So there was a scientist in the name of Carolus Linnaeus. He is regarded as the father of taxonomy. He is the one who talked about binomial nomenclature. In 1753, Carolus Linnaeus wrote one book in the name of Species Plantarum, and in that book he mentioned about the methods of binomial nomenclature. What is said? Each living organism will be having two names. So I put it in this way. There are two dash involved here. So I put it as dash and dash. So these are the two names basically. Now this first dash is the first name and second is the second name. What is the first name? First name will always be genus. What will be the second name? Second name will always be species as per Carolus Linnaeus. Genus is also called as generic name and species is also called as specific name. When I talk about genus, you need to understand that genus is simple noun and species is descriptive adjective. When I talk about genus, it should always be written in capital alphabet, means it should start with capital alphabet. And when I talk about species, it should be written in small alphabet, or the first alphabet should be small. When I talk about genus and species, both should be written in italics. Now what is italic? It's a font that we normally see in computers, basically I font, the italics, where we write everything, it goes down tilted. So if you are writing a binomial name, it has to be written in italics, but it is not possible for us to write in italics. So what we do, we write the name in a normal way and we underline it separately. For example, I use the word Mangifera indica. Now if you can understand here, the word Mangifera, M is capital, so it is indicating genus. I is small, it is indicating species, but I have not written Mangifera indica in italics. So what I will be doing, I will be underlining it separately. Now this is what has to be done. Genus and the species should not be less than 3 alphabets, or it should not be more than 13 alphabet. So 3 to 13 becomes the window for doing any name. Now what we need to understand here, there is something called as citation. For example, I have written Mangifera indica. After Mangifera indica, I write L dot. Now this L basically indicates the name of the author, that is Linnaeus, the scientist who gave this name to mango tree. So the method of writing the name of the author after the scientific name or after the binomial name, it is called as citation. So what we need to understand here with respect to binomial, these rules we need to follow, and once we are following these rules, then it becomes very much easy for us to know the names of all the plants and animals. Most of the time in plants it has been observed that the species can be same but genus cannot be same. For example, if I say Mangifera indica, it is mango. At the same time I say Azadirasta indica, it is neem, where the species are same because indica means India, they have originated in India, and the genus is different. Sometimes it happens that the two names are given at the same time. So the name which comes first is considered as the standard name. What we need to understand is the advantages of binomial nomenclature. Number one, it communicates the necessary information with respect to the name. Number two, it communicates the relationship between the name and the object. Number three, it is not at all misleading. It is not confusing. It is universally accepted, and at the same time there is only one name given to one organism. For example, for bacteria, if I use the word Escherichia coli, so these are the binomial names. I am talking about E. coli, where Escherichia becomes the genus and the coli becomes species. In the same way for humans, we are Homo sapiens. So Homo becomes our genus and the sapiens becomes species. This is how the binomial nomenclature is done. Moving towards the next part, it talks about taxonomy hierarchy. What is hierarchy? Basically, it is the rank or level that we need to understand. Now this rank or positioning is done in descending order. So arrangement of organisms based on their rank or level in the descending order is termed as hierarchy. Now there are two terms here associated. There was a scientist in the name of H.J. Lamb who gave the word taxon. What is taxon? Concrete unit of classification, and at the same time category is the rank or level. For example, the highest category that we see is always kingdom, and the lowest category that we see is species. So what comes in between? Let's try and understand. What I do, I put it in a simple way. I put it as KDC of GS. You can say KDC of GS, or you can say King Divine came over for good soup. Any way you can say. Now when I use the word K, K stands for the highest category, that is kingdom. When I use the word D, definitely in kingdoms you can have subkingdoms. When I use the word D, D stands for division, and division word we use for plants. In animals we use the word phylum. So D can be replaced by P if it is animal. Then we have C, C stands for class, O is order, F family, G genus, and S species. So this becomes the hierarchy. When you go from kingdom to species, the similarities between the organisms will keep on increasing, and finally in the last, in the species, everything will be similar. But as we move from species towards kingdom, what happens? The similarities keeps on decreasing, and at the last when we talk about kingdom, they will be showing only one characteristic, either they will be plant or they will be animals. So this is how what we need to understand with respect to taxonomic hierarchy. Let's talk about the basic unit of hierarchy. So when we talk about basic unit of hierarchy, or the smallest unit of classification, is a species. So what is species? Species, first of all, it is the basic unit in the system of classification, number one. Number two, all these species now, if they belong, all the organisms which are belonging to one species, they will be showing all similar characteristics. That is, similarity in morphology becomes the second point. The third point for species is that they are able to reproduce among each other. So basically species follows three conditions. Number one, morphological similarity. Number two, they are able to reproduce with each other. Now when we talk about the next part, that is concept of species, there were different definitions given for species. So among all those definitions, we focus on the three definitions. The first concept is with respect to morphological species. So this definition for morphological species was given by Carolus Linnaeus. What is said that the organisms which are similar in their morphological appearance, means they exactly resemble each other in terms of physical appearance, then they are called as morphological species, or they are also called as morphospecies. So as per Carolus Linnaeus, what is species? The one which are representing morphologically. Second species concept is biological concept, that was given by Charles Darwin. According to Charles Darwin, you are morphologically similar, but if you are not able to reproduce with each other, then you cannot be considered under one species. So what Charles Darwin said, group of organisms that are able to interbreed with each other are included under one species, and that is called as biospecies as per Charles Darwin. When we have the third concept, it was given by Ernest Mayr. He gave the modern concept of species. What he said, reproducing with each other does not define that you are belonging to same species. After your reproducing mechanism, there should be a birth of an individual. Then we can say that you belong to same species. So how to define? He actually combined the definition of Carolus Linnaeus and Charles Darwin, and what he said, group of actually or potentially reproducing organisms and they are similar in their morphological appearance is called as species. So this is what is concept of species given by three different scientists. Now what we need to understand, now we need to talk about the various hierarchies and the levels with certain examples. So what we need to think of, as I go from top to the bottom, as I move from species to the genus, then to the other part. So if I put it in the order, I say KDC of GS, so it's like kingdom, division, class, order, family, genus and the species. So how to define all these terms? I put a very simple term or a statement, group of organisms showing some similar characteristics, they belong to same group, or you can say same dash. So if I put it in a definition way, how it will work? Please try and understand. So when I talk about this, what I will say, group of dash. Now this dash can be the lower one, having some similar characteristics, belongs to same dash. Now this sentence can be used for defining each and every hierarchy. For example, I put it in this way, KDC of GS. So let us take, I want to define order. So what I will say, group of family showing some similar characteristics belongs to same order. Or if I want to define class, so I will say group of order showing some similar characteristics belongs to same class. If I have to define division, I will say group of class showing some similar characteristics belongs to same division. It means as we are moving from bottom to the top, the similarities are decreasing, decreasing and decreasing. And finally in the kingdom, we will have only one or two characteristics common in them. Like for example, if I talk about dog, man, whale, bat, all these are under one category, that is kingdom Animalia and mammal. Nothing else is similar apart from these two words. So it means with respect to kingdom we all are Animalia, but with respect to species we are nowhere related to each other. Let's understand this with respect to one example so that things will be clear for you. So I put it in this way, I write as species the first one. So when I talk about species, I put one example, Rosa sinensis. Now all the Rosa sinensis plants will be showing similar characteristics. They will be 100% similar with respect to characteristics. Second we can put as Esculentus. These three different species, they will be showing some similar characteristics. Now since they are showing some similar characteristics, they are included under one genus, and that genus is called as Hibiscus. So what we came to know, that Rosa sinensis, Esculentus and Cannabis, they have some similar characteristics. So we put them together under one genus, that is Hibiscus. Now we have some other genus also apart from Hibiscus. Let us take it as Malva, we can take it as Sida, and we take it as Gossypium. All these are different genus but they show some similar characteristics. So what we can say, group of genus showing some similar characteristics, they belong to same family. Now what exactly it means here? Hibiscus, malva, sida and gossypium, they belong to one family because they have something common in them. What is that family called as? It is called as Malvaceae. Malvaceae is one of the family. In that same way, we have Liliaceae, we have Tiliaceae. So Malvaceae, Liliaceae and Tiliaceae, these are three different families. But these three different families, they show some similar characteristics among each other. As a result, what we say, group of family showing some similar characteristics, they belong to same order. It means Malvaceae, Liliaceae and Tiliaceae, they belong to the order of Malvaceae. Now when I use the word Malvaceae, what exactly is similar? They show axile placentation. What is axile placentation basically? We need to understand. We all know the female parts of a flower. Now when I talk about gynoecium, it has three parts, stigma, style and the ovary. So when I talk about ovary, inside the ovary what is present? All ovules. Now these ovules, they are arranged in a definite pattern. They are arranged in a definite manner. When I use the word axile placentation, it simply means how? It is somewhat in a circular form having 5 chambers, and all these chambers, they are resembling on the axis. It means Malvaceae, Liliaceae and Tiliaceae, when I put them together, they have at least one thing in common, that is axile placentation. What is placentation? It is the arrangement of the ovule in the ovary. Now Malvaceae is one order, then we have Ranales and we have Parietales. So Malvaceae, Ranales and Parietales, they are different orders, but they show some similar characteristics. So what I say, group of orders having some similar characteristics, they belong to same subclass. So what is the subclass here for all these three? That is, they are Polypetalae. What do you mean by Polypetalae? Poly means free, petalae means petals. So all the petals here, they are free. Like rose flower, each and every petal is free. So that is Polypetalae. But apart from Polypetalae, we have one more, that is called as Gamopetalae. What is Gamopetalae? Fused petals. So we need to understand that in Malvaceae, Ranales and Parietales, they all have free petals. Polypetalae and Gamopetalae are two subclasses. These two subclasses will be showing some similar characteristics. So what we can say, group of subclass having some similar characteristics, they belong to same class. Now when I talk about class, Polypetalae and Gamopetalae, they belong to the class of Dicotyledonnae. What is Dicotyledonnae? Having two cotyledons. For example, if I take groundnut, it easily breaks into two pieces. So it's a dicot. I take gram, it is divided into two pieces. It's a dicot. I take maize. When I take maize, I try to divide, it is not divided in two parts. It means it's a monocot. The one which has two cotyledons, all the Dicotyledonnae, they will be showing Polypetalae or Gamopetalae condition. Now, when we talk about other part, Dicotyledonnae is one, then we have one more called as Monocotyledonnae. So there are two classes, dicot and monocot. These two classes will be showing some similar characteristics. So what we can say, group of class showing some similar characteristics, they belong to same division. And the division that we are talking about, or both the Dicotyledonnae and Monocotyledonnae, belong to the division of Angiospermae. What is angio? Enclosed. What is spermae? Seed. The seed is enclosed inside the fruit. So all the dicot or the monocot, they will be showing something common. They will be having fruit and the seed will be inside that fruit. That is angiospermae. What is the other term? With respect to angiosperm, there is something called as gymnospermae. The angiosperm now, the opposite is gymnospermae. Gymnos means naked, sperma means seed. Here they don't have fruit. So gymnosperms are basically described as phanerogams without ovary. But gymnosperm and the angiosperm, they belong to one division. So what we can say, basically group of division showing some similar characteristics, they belong to same subkingdom. For angiosperm and gymnosperm, now these are the two divisions. So group of division showing some similar characteristics, they belong to same subkingdom, and the subkingdom is phanerogamae. Phanerogams includes all the higher plants, well developed plants, flowering plants. They have seeds, they have fruits, they have flowers, they have xylem and phloem. And then apart from phanerogamae, we have one more subkingdom that is called as cryptogamae. Cryptogamae means all lower plants. They don't have xylem, they don't have phloem, no flower, no fruits, no seeds, no xylem and phloem. So basically these are all lower plants, but they show some similar characteristics. So what I can say, group of subkingdoms showing some similar characteristics belongs to same kingdom, and that kingdom is Plantae. It means what? Phanerogams and cryptogams, they have one similar characteristic, that they both are plants, nothing else is similar in them. But when I move on to species, I can say all the characteristics are common. So what we understand with respect to this hierarchy, as we go from top to the bottom of hierarchy, the similarity increases. As we go from bottom to the top of the hierarchy, the similarity decreases. So in this module, what we have studied, we talked about the scientific method of naming, we talked about binomial nomenclature, advantages of binomial nomenclature, we talked about the hierarchy, the shortcut was KDC of GS, where kingdom was the highest category and species was the lowest category. Till then, this is Sunil sir saying goodbye to you. Thank you very much. In this module, we have learned